Okay, so we're going to start with our warm-up. We're going to do 4 exercises. We're going to do it for time, so we're going to go 30 seconds on each one. Each one is going to address a different part of our body that we're going to use throughout the remaining of the workout. So the first one I call is a Spider-Man stretch. It's really going to work the deep hip area. So we're going to start with 30 seconds on each one, but before we start time, I'm going to demonstrate what I'm looking for. So hands on a mat, push-up position. We're going to go back nice and straight. You don't want to sag. You don't want your butt up in the air. Nice and straight. So what we're going to do is bring one foot flat on the floor. Should be close to your hand. Step back and we'll switch. So each time that you do this, make sure when your foot plants, your hips drop just a little bit so you'll really feel it through the inner part of your hip there. And we'll come back. So that's a Spider-Man stretch. Okay, the next one we're going to do is a mountain climber. Same basic idea, you don't have to come up as high, but it's going to be for tempos, it's going to be a little quicker, okay? Same push-up position. So now we're just going down the middle, tap, alternating. So nice and quick. So that's a mountain climber, okay? Next one we got is a plank shoulder tap. Same position again. This one you want to widen your stance with your feet just a little bit, just so your hips aren't drooping side to side. We're just going to do this. Tap nice and lightly, we're not slapping ourselves. Okay? We're going to use our shoulders a lot, so we want to be nice to them, okay? Last one we're going to do is a plank riser. This one we're going to be down on our elbows. Same thing with the hips. Don't want any drooping side to side, nice and straight. Again, if you need to, widen out your hips, okay? We're just gonna walk up, back down. Now if you notice, leading with my left hand, try to alternate so you don't burn out on one side. So come up, right arm first, back down, left arm up first, okay? So, starting my watch, we're gonna start with that Spider-Man stretch first, okay? And go. Again, we're going 30 seconds on each one. We're foot flat, hip drops after the foot's planted. Now I'm going to be out of breath by the time we get to the end, so that's why it's a warm-up. Get everything nice and loose. We're almost there. Okay. Next one we got is our mountain climber. Okay, again for 30 seconds. We'll start in about 5 seconds here. And we're going mountain climbers. Nice quick feet. You really want to try to get your breathing under control as we start. You want to get too out of breath. Okay. Next one we got is our plank shoulder tap. So emphasis up on the upper body now. From those first 2 exercises, I know mine are already getting tired, so this one is just meant to get you a little bit of recovery as we go into shoulder tapping, okay? So your legs get a break. Start in a few seconds here. And just shoulder tapping. Remember, feet nice and wide. Very minimal movement with your hips. We're not doing this. Now I'm on a slippery floor here. So if you're on carpet, I envy you right now. Trying very hard to keep my feet from moving around. Okay. And we're going into our plank riser. So And we're alternating which arm comes up first. Right arm, back down, left arm, okay? Okay, forearm flat on the mat. And we're starting. Left arm, right arm. Okay, so that's our warm-up sequence, okay? What we're gonna do is go through that one more time before we progress into our next part of our workout. So if you notice, I've only been doing this for a few minutes, but I'm already out of breath, already sweating, so I think that's a successful warm-up. So we're gonna keep on going. But first, remember, as you do this, make sure you always have water and you know your limits, okay? If you're doing workouts for the first time or it's been a while since you've done any kind of working out, know your limits. You don't want to push it too hard. If something hurts, you feel dizzy, lightheaded, any one of those symptoms, you want to stop immediately, okay? So just know what you can do and what you can't, okay? So, just catching my breath. We're gonna start back with that Spider-Man stretch here, okay? So, remember, push up position, shoulder width apart, and starting, foot flat, hip drop. Almost there. Or take your time. Okay. So we're done with the Spider-Man part, okay? Got our mountain climbers next, okay? Take your time. There's a quote I heard, I can't remember from who, but perfection is many small things done right. So take your time with these, get the form down. You rush and try to get through it right away, that's how you hurt yourself. So really want to take your time with this one, okay? So we're going with our mountain climbers. We'll start in a few seconds. And here we go. Okay, mountain climbers done. Got one more round of our plank shoulder taps and of the plank riser, okay? So if you need to, get a drink of water, just catch your breath, and we're almost done with the warm up. Then we can get to the actual part, the actual work. Okay, got our shoulder taps here. Starting in about 3 seconds. Our hips steady, feet wide, lightly tap the shoulders. Okay. All right, last one we got, our plank riser. So you'll notice, if you're on a hard slippery surface like I am, Really got to focus on your form, concentrate on what you're doing. If you have a mat at home, you can use a towel, blanket, something that'll give you protection for your elbows, for your hands, but something that also won't slide around too much, okay? If you notice mine's sliding just a little bit, not too bad. So last one, we got plank risers. Starting here in about 3 seconds. And here we go. Last time. Okay. All right, so that's our warm-up done. Took us about 10 minutes. Just take your time with those again. Now we'll progress to the second part, which is the actual workout. Whew. Okay, so we got our warm-up done. We're gonna go into our actual workout now. So for some of you, that warm-up might have been that workout. So we'll progress a little bit. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do 2 circuits, I'm sorry. We're gonna do 3 exercises in each one. Each one we're gonna do for time. We're gonna use, for our first circuit, we're gonna use a kettlebell, we're gonna use a dumbbell, and a stability ball, okay? First one we're gonna do is a half kneeling kettlebell press, which is an overhead press. Okay, I'm gonna do with a bottoms up grip. Normally you can do it this way, but I really like holding it this way. For a lot of people that have shoulder pain or shoulder problems, they'll probably know they can't really do an overhead pressing motion. But I feel that this grip to hold the kettlebell upright really will help some of those stabilizers in the shoulder. I've actually had people who had that problem give them, I have a 12-pound kettlebell here. I wouldn't recommend going above 20 pounds if that's the case, just because something like 12 pounds will really get the job done with that shoulder, okay? So, got my right foot down. Okay, I have my left knee on the mat. Okay, I have a straight line from knee, hip, up to my shoulder. Everything's straight, okay? I'm gonna hold the kettlebell in my left hand, okay? Now, as I do this, I'm gonna rotate up, back down, okay? Our shoulder, it's a ball and socket joint, meaning our arm fits on our shoulder like this. It wants to move around. This will allow us to do that. I don't like putting my arm in a fixed motion where I'm just going like this. You're not really using the most of your shoulders that you should be. So, first one we're gonna do, we're gonna go 30 seconds with an overhead press, okay? I'm actually gonna switch that, so we're gonna go 15 seconds on one side. I'll switch, we'll go 15 in the other, okay? So I got my time going. We've got 15 seconds starting right now. So notice I got my shoulder rotating, kettlebells staying nice and straight. It's okay if it wiggles a little bit. If it's wiggling too much, probably need to take it down a little bit with the weight. Got 15 seconds. Switching to the other side. Just keep your eyes straight, back straight, feet flat on the floor, knee down flat. Just focus what you're doing. Okay. All right, that's 15 seconds. Out of the way. Grab our dumbbell. I'm using a 35-pound dumbbell. Now what we're gonna do is gonna hold this in a goblet position. So goblet is, a long time ago people had goblets they would drink out of. Think of that. We're gonna hold the dumbbell right against my chest with the top portion. From the side, I got the bottom right against my stomach, okay? This is a good way to judge your squat form. So when I squat, if I'm squatting, comes off my stomach, I know I'm leaning forward too much, okay? So if I'm holding, I want to keep both points of contact. Feet flat, I got my toes Rotate it out slightly, okay? My knees are gonna go in that same direction as my toes. Elbows down to my knees. Still eyes straight. Come right back up, okay? Again, we're going for 30 seconds, starting right now. Take your time. Contact with both points on your chest, on your stomach. Not rushing anything. Really focus on range of motion of your knees, your hips. Keep those heels flat on the floor as much as you can. If you're doing this and you notice maybe your heels are starting to come up like that, I like to use a mat here. Put my toes on. That'll force me to push my heels, my weight on my heels a little more. Almost there. Okay, so that was our goblet squat. So now we're going to go to the core part of our circuit. So I really like to do stability exercises, meaning we keep everything straight. We're not doing any twisting. We're not doing any bending. If you have back problems, those kind of movements will really tend to aggravate them if you don't have a strong core. So stability exercises really help develop that. I'm going to use a stability ball here. I call this an ab rollout. Just think a long time ago, grandmas used to grind corn. Same idea here, okay? So, we got hands flat, knees, hips, shoulders, everything straight. This is our starting position. I'm going to actually start with my hands down here. As I roll out, the ball is going to roll down my arms probably to my elbows, okay? So as we do this, come back up. Okay, again, everything stays straight. My butt's not going back. My hips aren't sagging. Everything goes down straight. You come back up straight, okay? So again, we're starting at 30 seconds. Starting right now. Try to keep your feet down on the floor. You don't want your feet coming up like that. Take your time. Almost there. Okay. So that's our ab rollout. Okay. Starting back at the top, get a little break here first. We got our half kneel, kettlebell press, got our goblet squat, and then our ab rollout, okay? So, remember again, I'm using a 12-pound kettlebell, okay? 15 seconds one side, switch, 15 on the other, okay? Okay, we're starting right now. Remember, rotate that shoulder, elbow comes out, kettlebell stays up nice and tall. Just take your time. We're almost there. Okay, switching, other side, and we're going 15 seconds again. You might be stronger on one side. Mine is my dominant side, which I'm right-handed, so this one feels a lot easier to me than my left. So just take your time. Okay, overhead press done. Got our dumbbell. Again, I'm using a 35-pound dumbbell. Goblet squat, chest, stomach, feet wide, toes out, elbows down to the knees, starting right now. Normally I'd like to have music while I do this, but I guess I'll just enjoy the sound of my voice. We're almost there. We're up nice and tall. Heels stay flat. Eyes stay up. Okay. Goblet squat's done. Going into our ab rollout. Okay, start nice and tall. Feet down. Fingers on the back side of the ball. Rolling straight out. Everything stays nice and straight. Knees, hips, shoulders. Starting right now. Remember, keep your feet down. Try to reach out as far as you can. And if you're wondering, that's the ball, that's not me. Okay, so that's 2 rounds down. We got 1 left. All right, welcome back. We got 1 more round. Again, we got our kettlebell overhead press in this half kneeling position. 15 more seconds on each side, starting right now. Really rotate that shoulder. This is our last round. Make sure it's good. I know if you're tired, you want to rush and get it done, but that's how accidents happen. So take your time. Good. Switching over. Rotate that shoulder. Keep that kettlebell nice and steady. Keeping your posture nice and tall, no slouching. We don't want to be leaning. Keep everything nice and straight. Okay, done with that one. Last one with the goblet squat. Okay, again, if you're having trouble keeping your heels down, I'm gonna put my toes on the edge of the mat here, keeping my heels on the floor. That'll really help shift our weight back, keep our form nice and organized, okay? So we're starting right now, last 30 seconds. Remember, elbows to knees. Drive those knees out. We don't want knees inverting. We want everything out wide. For those of you that ride horses, this should be very easy. For those of you that don't, do enough of these squats and it will be. Almost there. And relax, good. Done with those. Last one on our roll up. If you're sore in your abs from a previous workout or even from this, you'll really feel it with this exercise. So just take your time. Our last 30 seconds, starting right now. Remember, reach out as far as you can. My goal is to reach the end of my mat here with this ball without falling. Almost there. All right, so our first circuit done. Again, we'll get a little break. We'll move on to our next one, which is mainly for the core. Again, we're doing some stability stuff and there's some full body stuff as well to kind of tie everything together. Okay, we got 1 more round. Plank, push up, windmill, okay? So our last 15 seconds with this plank here. Starting right now on the right side. Remember, don't rush the last round. Get it done right. You'll feel better after, I promise. Okay. All right, other side. All right, last time on the left. Done with the plank. To the side. Last one on the push-ups. Again, up on the toes. Going side to side. Really focus. Hand placement on the ball. You don't want to be too far in front, too far behind. Weight should be right on top of it. All right. Last round starting now. Try to get that shoulder down to the ball every time. Make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath. Even if you're breathing hard like me. Okay. All right, last one on the windmill. Right arm first, rockstar pose, overhead, weight shifted, eyes up, and go. Again, make sure you're breathing. Don't take your eyes off that dumbbell. All right, last time on the left. And we are done. Now we just got to cool down, okay? So this will help you get your breathing under control, bring your temperature down. It will also help you stretch out any of those stiff muscles from anything that we did. So first two we're going to do are be for the hips. If you remember in our warm-up, we did a couple hip stretches. So again, we got to do a couple at the end here. So only difference being with these ones, we're going to be in one spot. This is called a static stretch. We're not going to be doing a lot of moving, we're just going to hold one position. So this first one is a forward stretch, foot flat, ankle right below the knee right below the hip, okay? All we're going to do is shift your weight forward, and again, you'll feel that in your hips, okay? If you want to feel a little more, you can push that foot out a little further, and you'll feel even deeper stretch here. Might even feel it in your glutes on the back, okay? We'll go 15 seconds here, and we'll switch. Keep your posture nice and tall. And we're switching. Same thing, start ankle below the knee first. Get used to it. If you feel up to it, then you can reach out further and do the same thing. Got our 15 seconds here. Make sure you're breathing. You don't want to be holding your breath like this. You want to relax. And we're back. Now we're going to do the same thing. This one's more for the groin, which is the inner thigh here. So again, knee below the hip. Got ankle below the knee, but now we're going out to the side. Okay, so this knee is going to stay out. You don't want it to droop inward. Okay, we're going to shift our weight out to the side. You'll really feel it right here on the groin muscle. Same as before. If you want to go out further, you'll feel that stretch even deeper. Okay, other side, same thing. Foot flat, knee back, lean out. Reach out further. It's okay if you hear a few cracks and pops, it's totally normal. Okay. All right, next one is for, again, the hip, more so for the glutes. So I'm going to be down on the floor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this outer side of my right leg and get it flat on the floor. This hip is going to try to get as low to this ankle as we can. And then I'm just going to put my hands flat. Got 15 seconds here. And keep your eyes up. You don't want to round and bunch up. Just keep everything nice and open. And you can keep breathing. Okay. Switching to the other side. Again, outer side of the leg. Flat on the mat or on the floor. Slide that other foot straight back. Hands flat. We got 15 seconds here. Just keep breathing. A few more seconds here. And we're done with that one. Okay, next one you can do standing up, sitting down. I'm actually just going to do it from kneeling position, okay? So this one is probably one we do a lot. Right arm across the chest, left arm hook under the elbow, and just hug it in. In case you really feel it back through here, you might even feel it in your back of your arm here. So just hold that. Got our 15 seconds. And we're going to do 15 seconds on the left. Switching over. I just heard a pop there, that's perfectly fine. I know some of us hear pops and cracks as soon as we get out of bed, but perfectly fine. Almost there. And relax. So now, this next one is going to be a little similar. Instead of being here, we're going to go behind the head like you're going to scratch your back. Okay, so I'm going to stay in this position though. So we're going to go over, reach down, other hand, grab that elbow, and just apply some pressure and push it down. Feel it more here in the triceps. And then if you want to lean just a little bit, you'll actually feel it through your obliques and your middle back area. So just hold that. If you can't see your clock or your watch to time yourself, just count your breaths. Count 15 breaths in and out. It will really help you focus on your breathing here. Okay, switching over other side. Apply pressure, pull down. Lean just a little bit if you need to. Okay. All right, so last one we're gonna do is for the chest and in the front of the shoulders, okay? So this one I'm gonna do from the side. You can do the standing up, sitting down, or kneeling down. All we're gonna do is lock wrists behind the back, and you're just gonna lift up, okay? You'll feel this in your chest. You might even feel some pressure up in your traps up here by your neck, just from being in this position. That's fine. Just don't push past it to the point that it's uncomfortable. And just try to keep space between your wrists and your back here. You don't want to be just here in this position. Just keep them back, roll those shoulders back. Okay, and we're all done.